Hello folks, Lauren Tiffany here, great-grandson of Charlie Burke, the creator of Burke Flexo lures. Just wanted to take a moment here and tell you about a little history and story of the company and why it's so special to me. I guess it all starts with this lure here, the Muddler. Here we have an advertisement from the 50s. One of the original packagings. I believe this would probably be 1960s, the tag for this lure here. And they were 75 cents back then. But yeah, they've been around since the 50s, I believe. I have an advertisement from 1960 here, so I know they've been around since at least 60. And the reason it's so special to me is it's one of the original lures ever since my dad was telling me stories of his grandfather, Charlie Burke, and how he used to take him out fishing. And my father would tell me stories of how they would work for Charlie Burke and actually assemble tackle. And he described how him and his siblings were lined up at a table, assembly line fashion. And all the kids, each one would put a different bead on. And I guess my Uncle Mark would put the Colorado blade spinner on, and my grandmother would do the final crimp with the pliers. And there was no muddler on them, so they were just assembling just the spinners. But it was, I guess I was told by my Uncle Mark, they were trying to put out 500 of them in a night, and it was just unbelievably tedious if you think about trying to assemble 500 of those in a night. But it was something special that I always think about my dad and my aunts and uncle sitting there as kids, each one putting a different bead on. And but yeah, that's what my grandmother would do for extra money, working for her father, my grandma Rose, who was the daughter of Charlie Burke. And her son, my father, Charles Burke, who was named after Charlie Burke, grew up with Charles, and Charlie took my father out fishing a lot. And so I grew up hearing the stories of that, and I grew up hearing the stories of this spinner being assembled. And it wasn't until a few months ago I was doing some research and with other collectors and talking with my uncle, and I finally figured out which lure it was, and it's for sure the spinner harness for the Muddler. And so that's why it's so special to me, because my father's now passed away, and that's one of the reasons I created the Burke Fishing Lure Collectors Facebook group, as well as this YouTube channel, because in honor of my father and my grandfather, the originators of this company. It's obviously evolved in a whole lot of other things, but the originals is where it's at for me, for obvious reasons. But yeah, I would want to share some original advertisements. Pretty cool stuff they pull from magazines. I can find them on eBay for a couple dollars a piece. This one's dated 1960. Muddler. But just a great little lure. And I know there's some big fans out there who I'm a big fan of. Just anybody that's collecting my great-grandfather's lures, I'm just a big fan of. It's awesome to see people collecting his work. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks again.